In this lesson, we're going to take a look at finding volume of a 3D object. Volume is counting the number of cubes it takes to occupy space and fill an object. So our plan is going to be this. Calculate how many cubes it takes to make one layer of the object. Once we have that number, all we need to do is multiply it by how many layers we are going to build off of that. In other words, the thickness of the object. So again, figure out one layer worth of cubes and multiply it by how many layers we need. Find the volume of one layer and multiply by how many total layers we need. To do this, we're going to use a formula sheet. On the very bottom right is the formula's specific, let me rephrase that, it's a general formula to work for any 3D shape. So here's the breakdown of it. We're going to specifically look at the volume formula, which takes B times W. Now B is the area of the base. The base is going to be the special shape that identifies the prism. A triangular prism, rectangular prism, even a cylinder. Now what that'll do is that'll find how many cubes it takes to make the first layer. That's what the area of the base does. Once I know that, I will just multiply by the width, which is how many layers total I need to construct that prism. So that's our general formula that we're going to apply to all the different shapes. So let's take a look at a rectangular prism. Volume is area of the base times the width, or the thickness of the prism. So area of the base, area of a rectangle, is length times width. Now what's the width? Is 5. So I can replace the B with 6 times 5 times the thickness, how many layers. Okay, so again, we found the number of cubes it takes to fill in the special shape. Now I just need the layers. How many layers? There are 4. That's the width. So multiply. This is 30 times 4 gives me 120 cubes. Now, what size are the cubes? These are centimeters. I can also write my answer like this, 120 centimeters with an exponent of 3. That's the same as saying cubed. So that's a volume for a rectangular prism. Let's look at a triangular prism. Volume is area of the base, which is the special shape, times the width. So I'm going to take a look at my triangle. Area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. What's the base of my triangle? 4. What's the height? The height is 6. What's the width? The width of, or the depth of my prism. So how many layers do I have? I have 12. So now I can do my calculation. 1/2 times 4 times 6 times 12, which is 144. And again, I can write it one of two ways. I typically will do cubic centimeters just to get that point across that it's counting the number of cubes in an object. I can apply the same thing to a cylinder. Volume is area of the base times the width. My base is a circle, so I'm trying to figure out how many cubes are in this circle, and then I will multiply by how many layers I have. Area of base, pi times radius squared. Radius is 2 squared, times width. How many layers do I need? I need 4. Volume equals 3.14 times 2 squared, 4 times 4. Volume equals 3.14 times 4 gives me a total of 50.24 cubic, and these are centimeters. So that's how many cubes it would take to fill up this cylinder. So that's volume using a generalized formula. The object, a number of cubes